The Galactic Science Council had convened exactly twice in the last millennium. The first time was to witness the Thexorian demonstration of controlled singularity manipulation. The second was happening right now, and it was significantly less dignified. "Explain it again," Grand Scholar Vexthil demanded, her crystalline throat sac pulsing an agitated purple. Slowly. Dr. Marcus Webb scratched his head, looking deeply uncomfortable in a chamber designed for beings twice his size. "Well, I was trying to make coffee." 300 of the galaxy's finest minds stared at him in silence. The kind of silence that screams. "Coffee," repeated Vexthil flatly. "Yeah, you know, the Earth beverage. I'd been working late in the quantum lab trying to figure out your phase null equations. Brilliant stuff, by the way, really elegant. And I was exhausted. So I went to make coffee in the break room." Marcus gestured vaguely, but someone had moved the coffee maker next to the quantum resonance chamber. "The QRC that you were explicitly told never to approach without a level 9 containment suit," added his supervisor. A 6-armed Euthrian named Kalshex, pinching the bridge of what might have been a nose. "Right, yes, my bad on that," Marcus winced. "But see, I was half asleep, and I just hit the brew button on the coffee maker while leaning against the QRC control panel. Must have bumped something because suddenly both machines turned on at the same time." Ambassador Tazine of the Korthian Collective leaned forward, his sensory tendrils quivering. "And then?" "Then the coffee maker started percolating, and I guess the vibrations somehow synced with the QRC's frequency modulation. There was this weird harmonic resonance and—" Marcus paused, noticing every being in the chamber had stopped breathing their various forms of atmosphere. "And that's when I accidentally opened a stable traversable wormhole that lasted for 47 minutes. The chamber erupted. "Impossible," roared a Dravaxian physicist. "We've spent 10,000 years trying to stabilize a wormhole for more than 3 seconds, shrieked a Methian mathematician. "He did it with a beverage preparation device?" This from a usually composed Andromedian professor, who appeared to be having some kind of existential crisis. Grand Scholar Vexthil raised 3 of her forearms for silence. "Dr. Webb, we have consulted our best theoretical physicists. What you describe violates 17 fundamental laws of quantum mechanics." 18, corrected someone in the back. 18 fundamental laws, Vexthil amended. "It cannot be done. Therefore, it was not done." Marcus pulled out his personal datapad and tapped it a few times. A holographic projection materialized above the chamber floor, showing grainy security footage from the lab's break room. The assembled scientists watched in horror as a sleepy human in pajama pants and a t-shirt that read, "I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right," bumped into a control panel while reaching for a coffee mug. The quantum resonance chamber flickered. The coffee maker began to gurgle. And then, impossible as it was, a swirling vortex of stable spacetime opened up between the microwave and the refrigerator, revealing a perfect view of the Andromeda Galaxy through its center. On the footage, Marcus stared at it for a long moment, then shrugged and poured his coffee. He was visible sitting in the break room for the next 47 minutes, casually drinking his beverage and scrolling through his datapad, while a stable wormhole, something that had eluded galactic civilization for millennia, casually existed 3 feet away from him. The hologram ended. The silence was deafening. "How?" whispered Vexthil, her scholarly composure finally cracking. "How is this possible?" Marcus thought about it. "I think, and this is just a theory, but I think the problem is you've all been trying too hard. Trying too hard." Each word from the Korthian ambassador sounded like it caused him physical pain. "Yeah, look at your equations." Marcus pulled up another display showing the incredibly complex mathematics the Galactic Council had been working with. "You're using 47-dimensional hyperspace calculations, accounting for every possible quantum fluctuation, modeling every particle interaction. It's beautiful work, really, but it's overthought." He pulled up his own notes, embarrassingly simple by comparison. "What if wormholes are less like a precisely engineered mechanism and more like a door? You don't need to understand the molecular structure of wood to open a door. You just need to push it at the right angle with the right amount of force." "That is the most unscientific thing I have ever heard," declared a Vexorian physicist. "And yet," Kalshex interjected quietly, "it worked." The chamber fell silent again as the implications sank in. Humans had only joined the galactic community 40 years ago. They were the newcomers, The primitives who'd barely figured out faster than light travel, and now one of them had accidentally solved a problem that had stumped the greatest minds in the galaxy. For thousands of years while making a hot beverage, Grand Scholar Vexthil slowly lowered herself into her seat, looking somehow older than her 3 centuries. Dr. Webb, would you be willing to work with our research teams to replicate this accident? Sure, Marcus said cheerfully, but I'm going to need a lot of coffee. 3 months later, the first human-designed wormhole gate opened for commercial use. The instruction manual was 3 pages long, a stark contrast to the Galactic Council's previous 17,000-page theoretical framework. The key component, as it turned out, was a modified oscillation pattern that Marcus had described as sort of like how a coffee maker percolates, but with space-time instead of water. The discovery didn't just change galactic travel, it changed how the galaxy thought about problem-solving entirely. Humans, it turned out, had a unique talent for what they called percussive, maintenance and happy, accidents, what other species called imprecise, methodology and dangerous randomness. Humans called thinking outside the box. Within a year, human engineers were being recruited across the galaxy, not despite their tendency to accidentally solve impossible problems, but because of it. As for Marcus Webb, he continued to work at the Quantum Research Facility. He made several more groundbreaking discoveries, including stable fusion containment while trying to reheat pizza, faster-than-light communication while attempting to get better Wi-Fi, and gravity manipulation. Vacuum cleaner accident, don't ask. When asked by reporters how he kept doing the impossible, Marcus always gave the same answer. I don't try to do the impossible. I just try to make coffee. The universe handles the rest. The coffee maker he used that first night now sat in the Galactic Museum of Scientific Achievement, behind a glass case with a placard that read, "The most important scientific instrument in modern history, a Mr. Coffee Model 2164, circa 2157 CE. Next to it, someone had placed a handwritten note in Marcus's messy scrawl. Still makes a decent cup of joe.